It's very sad because, you know, when he was sent there, President Bush had a press ball. And at the press ball, he made a big joke about it. He started looking under the desk and under tables and saying, where are those weapons of mass destruction?
Those weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere. Nope, no weapons over there. Maybe under here.
So they already knew there were no weapons of mass destruction. In fact, 4 months before he was sent there, the last of the inspectors had come back and said unequivocally that there are no weapons of mass destruction. You know, hundreds of times they kept repeating the weapons of mass destruction. We know they have them. And the mushroom cloud, they have nuclear weapons, they have everything. They kept repeating them.
There will be serious consequences for the dictator in Iraq
that have developed weapons of mass destruction.
Who were to use weapons of mass destruction.
Saddam Hussein has developed weapons of mass destruction.
And has acquired weapons of mass destruction.
It will be a war to disarm Saddam's weapons of mass terror.
Iraq's weapons of mass destruction, its relationship with terrorist organizations.
The issue is not about Iraqi oil.
I always thought it was we wanted the oil in Iraq and the Middle East, control of oil in the Middle East. And this was just a ploy to get it. And to, you know, a first step, because under Bush, you know, there's always the threat that he'll go into another country, Iran for one, at this point.
You know, I don't understand why people are against impeachment. It's mentioned in the Constitution 7 times. I took an oath when I was 17 years old to protect and defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. There is no expiration date on that oath. None. And so when I wake up every day and I get to put on an Iraq Veterans Against the War t-shirt, and I get to defend the Constitution of the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic, that is exactly what I'm doing. And if President Bush has not violated enough misdemeanors to be impeached, no one ever will. High crimes and misdemeanors, that's the standard for impeachment.
That's why impeachment is so necessary. It's not merely an issue of just accountability and holding someone accountable for crimes they've already committed. It's to stop them from committing other crimes as well.
I don't think impeachment's going to go forward because I don't think the Democrats are interested in holding George Bush accountable. They're only interested in their own power. And that means the system is broken. That means there is not democracy here in the United States. There's just a power grab between one party and the other.
The Speaker-elect, Nancy Pelosi.
Democrats are ready to lead. And so we say to the President, Mr. President, we need a new direction in Iraq.
It would be a mistake to characterize everything that happened as just President Bush and just the Republicans. Democrats also bear responsibility here. The Democrats controlled the Senate in 2002. They could have stopped the war, but they didn't. Democrats control the House and the Senate now. We could stop the war by telling the president no more money.
Why are our troops there? Did anybody in this floor, did anybody count on the utter incompetence of this administration when they were given the authority they were given? Absolute incompetence.
If we walk away from Iraq, we will be back, possibly in the context of a wider war in the world's most volatile region.
You know, in some ways we're madder at the Democrats than we are at the Republicans, because the Republicans, at least they're straightforward. They're warmongers, they like war, they profit from war. The Democrats are supposed to be an opposition party. They could stop the war tomorrow by saying we're just not gonna fund it anymore, but they don't, because they're more interested in gaining the White House in November 2008 than they are in stopping this war.
Ken was my only child, and I've already had the worst day of my life, and I think most people haven't met a Gold Star mom, so they don't know what it really means to lose somebody in this war. You can only imagine. It's, you know, it's been a long day, and people have been very supportive, but it's just hard to see his name where it doesn't, you know, it just reminds me that he's never coming home. These are all these empty lives, and this is just the California boots. So this is 410 of them, and there's 3,838 dead American soldiers, and who knows how many Iraqis, because our president doesn't want us to know. He doesn't want us to know about our children. He doesn't let us see the caskets coming home, and they don't take photographs. They don't document that history, but they're empty, and their lives are empty, and the families' lives. So it's hard.
We are the most hated country in the world. But there are reasons for that. How could it be changed? We have a long way to go.
I have a lot of friends in Iraq. Most of them have left the country. And I can't even call them or email them anymore. I'm so ashamed. What am I going to write? Hi, how are you? How is your family? I know how they are. They're miserable. They're suffering. Everybody's lost somebody. Their lives are destroyed. So I feel a tremendous sense of shame and of guilt.
We have a moral obligation to find a way, monetary and otherwise, to heal this tremendous damage that has been done to the people of Iraq.
And I thought about the Iraqis in Tikrit and Fallujah and Baghdad, and nothing can take away their right to self-defense. Nothing. Just because it's my buddies over there doesn't take away their right to self-defense. And that's what they're doing. They're defending their country.
I think the reputation can be changed, but we can never fully go back to where we were before Bush. And I can't say to an Arab nation or a person, not that I have that power, but I can't say, oh, I didn't do it, George did it. Then I'd be just like him, blaming other people. I would have to say, you know, I didn't do it, I voted against him, I worked against him, but our country did it, and we did it, and because I'm a citizen of this country, I'm also responsible, and I feel terrible about it.
What they do is, if a loved one dies, you know, they come and they kind of seduce you in a way. You know, they bring you the folded flag and they bring you the medals and they tell you that your son died for freedom, that he died protecting America. I even heard one colonel, and I had to call him on this, at a memorial service say that Sherwood died avenging 9/11. All lies, see? So I know they're lies. In my heart, I know they're lies. So I'd rather deal with it knowing the truth than to try to live a lie.
The United States has been built on much sacrifice and much pain and much grief. And there are so many families that have had this experience. But that is not a comfort to any one family that has had it. But this is a country that has called for the highest levels of self-sacrifice from its citizens that is received in generation after generation. I think the next generations will be proud of what this generation did.
I think it's a game, a political game, and I think the rules of that game are basically power and money. And you know, one thing I'm afraid of is that now that we have created such hatred in the world, that our children and our grandchildren are going to pay for that dearly.